Hello, it's Angie again with yet another book to talk about for you. So this one is called The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blackman. It also came out in March, so we should have it at the library for you to check out. Now, as I said in another video, I like books that talk about a historical period that I don't know a whole lot about. I like to be educated when I read a little bit, and this book, you can see with the black smoke and everything, takes place in Chernobyl. Chernobyl, Ukraine. In the 1980s, there was a nuclear accident that was devastating. So that's the location for this book. Now, if there's an HBO series about Chernobyl, so I do know a little bit more about it, but I'd never read a book about it. So in Chernobyl, Pripyat, I believe is the name of the town, where Valentina Kaplan and Oksana Savchenko live. And they are the same age, but they're not really friends. Nope, not really friends at all. In fact, Valentina is Jewish. And that is kind of frowned upon in Russian culture or Soviet culture because they don't believe in religion. So because she is Jewish, she's kind of discriminated against. And Oksana's family definitely doesn't like Jewish people. Her dad thinks Valentina's dad has taken his job, as pushed his way in. So they're not friends. They're not friends at all. But on the day Chernobyl explodes, they are thrown together out of circumstances beyond their control. So both of their fathers work at Chernobyl and are there at the time of the explosion. And we learn what happens to both of them, as most of the workers in the plant at the time of the explosion, neither of them makes it. But the girls do. Just FYI, spoiler alert, the girls make it to the end. So, the interesting thing about Chernobyl is that the Soviet government really downplayed the magnitude of this disaster. People did not know what was going on. They were out and about all over the place, being exposed to massive amounts of radiation. And a lot of people got sick just out of ignorance. And it took the Soviet government quite a while to evacuate people. So when they're evacuated, Valentina and Oksana are separated from their mothers because there's only limited seats to get out of town on the train, and the moms just aren't able to go. So they go and are sent to Leningrad, which is a very far distance from Chernobyl, to stay with Valentina's grandmother, who she has never met. She's never met her grandmother, but they go to live in Leningrad and they become friends. Oksana is now exposed to Valentina and finds out they have a lot in common. Valentina is not that different from her. And she learns that even though Valentina's family is Jewish, they're actually a little nicer than her family. Her dad was abusive and her mom kind of let it happen. So not the nicest family. But she does learn, to love Valentina's grandma as if she was her own. Now, interspersed with Valentina and Oksana's story is the story of Rifkum that takes place in 1941. Rivka is a Jewish girl who is separated from her family during World War II. She is sent off to hide from the Germans who are going to invade Ukraine, and gets separated from her cousin who was with her, and tries to survive, as many Jewish people did during the Holocaust. So it's also her story. And then we learn towards the end of the book who Rivka actually is. If you're paying attention, it won't be a big surprise, but there is a connection between Rivka's story and Oksana and Valentina's story. So this is historical fiction. It takes place in Russia and Ukraine in the 1980s and the 1940s. So there's dual storylines. It's a fascinating look at what happens, what daily life was like in Russia during that time. This was before the Iron Curtain fell, so it was still very much a lockdown culture. And I thought it was really interesting. It was fascinating to read about not only Chernobyl, but Russian life. Because I don't know a lot about that. And like I said, I like learning new things. So The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman, I would definitely recommend it as a good historical fiction friendship story, and one you can learn from. So check it out.